What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be doing What If Naruto Was Raised in UA Part 2. Thank you for all of your guys' support. I got 13 views in my last video, which is the biggest amount of views on my old YouTube channel for 3 hours. Like my old YouTube channel, which had way more videos, 500 videos I think. That many views in 3 hours. That's amazing. And shout out to Gavin Keen. He said that I was good at What Ifs. I mean, I do watch a lot of What Ifs. That's basically my life and from the first time. So yeah. Well, let's get started. So we're at the first day of UA. Last time, what happened? The UA teachers, Mr. Aizawa, President Mike, Principal Nezu. I'm gonna say Nezu, I forget now, all of a sudden. And Midnight, I'm pretty sure that's it, found Naruto at the doorstep, who gave the description, and his quirk is all the way advanced because of how much training he did. And he's a part of the big three with Mirio and Sun Eater. I forget the other girl because I don't know. So making them big four. And he was definitely going to get into UA no matter what. He would have gone through recommendations from UA to UA, so yeah. And he just wanted to take the test for fun. He ended up getting 500 villain points and 300 hero points, being the fact that then he got 800 points total, being all records, including All Mights. And also, he met All Might the day before when he defeated the Sledge villain, but they got distracted from the Sledge villain. And as well as 13 was with them because Naruto goes to USJ all the time with the classes. So, and then he saved Bakugo when none of the heroes can do anything. And then he was about to scold them when the UA teachers came in and said that, let's say Midnight even said that her child was allowed to. Let's say Midnight adopted Naruto or something like that, pretty much. But it's like he was raised in UA, pretty much. So let's get in. The first day with class 1A, Bakugo is angry at Deku because of course Deku's number one. And everybody well, not everybody, but nobody knows that he's part of the Big Four, and they don't even know what the Big Four is, because, and Ochaka, and let's say Lita was the other person there. I don't think I decided who was, so the other person about to get crushed by the robot was Lita, and he had to thank, Izuku very much. Let's say Izuku's last name, I'm pretty sure, I don't know what Midnight's last name is, so let's say he changed it to Aizawa. So let's say he got adopted by Midnight and Aizawa, but I don't know Midnight's last name, but they're not exactly calculators, both like father and mother in a way to him. Not loving though. So when Mr. Aizawa comes in, they can, he says hello to Deku, and Deku is in that tone. He acts a lot like Aizawa, and except for when he's in front of Mirio and some other people, he'll act happy if he knows them. So, sorry. Thank you, Gavin Keen. Thank you a lot. You're being very nice. If you all could see that, of course, I forget it. I'm not used to. Abby, get up. Yeah, we have a co-star, Abby, my dog. She's laying on the bed. Oh, I feel lazy dog. You're a pregnant lazy dog. You're a female dog, that's what you are to me. Don't look up what that means in some terms. Anyways, so let's say Sawa comes in, tells him This time he says that they can change into their uniforms. Anybody who has a hero costume can change their hero costume now. Let's say Deku of course has a hero costume, so he has the scarf of Ozawa with a belt holding some guns with the shots on them, as well as a whip and some mystical, like the perfume thing that Midnight casts out. She puts some in the bottle for him, kind of to use like smoke clouds, but like poisonous clouds in a way, as well as some things that he can use for training his quirk. And his outfit itself, let's say it's purple with a bit of pink, and so let's say his legs are more like a faded purple in a way, with and like imagine like an oval in a way going up to the top, and then on the outside of the oval is black, and the top is kind of like the same, except let's say this time it's a more how do we say it? Let's say that it's the top is around the same, except the opposite colors but you have more black on that one. The sleeves are more of a faded purple, black outlining them. It's kind of weird to think about, but think about Mewtwo's color and black from the picture of Aizawa, as well as he does have a mask over his face, and this time it's gonna look like Midnight's in a way, where she has the if I could find pictures of it. Let me pause. So let's say it's like this in a way. So you see her red mask thing. Let's say it's like that, except has like golden bars going down it, like Aizawa. So it's like a red steelish kind of thing, like a red gold around it with, let's say, silver going down as a mask. So as he goes through, he uses psychic powers to get infinite on the first test, of which Bakugo tries to measure up, but Bakugo only, this time, because he's more angry and unfocused, he only gets like, let's say 650 meters. Which angers him. He tries to go explode Deku again, but then Deku uses his telekinesis and throws him halfway across the city. And he doesn't get back for a little while, so Aizawa knows how far his attack can go, so he'll casually just have to wait. So 20 minutes later, Bakugo's back. He didn't want to waste up all his energy on his explosives, and then he goes back to attack Deku again. That's when Deku uses his scarf and floats up, as well as Aizawa, because he's ready to hold him back with that, but then he knows it's Deku, and then he pins him down. Now, I know I said before that everybody heard rumors about Deku, but let's say that they actually didn't, and they didn't pick on himself. But anyways, so when they see the similarities between Aizawa and Deku, let's also say that Deku has black hair like Aizawa, but it's more purplish like Midnight. He's not their child, but I'm doing that so that they can try like find similarities and stuff. What the f is this stuff? I have questions. Phantoms. What the heck? Okay, anyways. So yeah, I'm doing that because let's just say that they didn't want Deku to be similar towards anyone, so they wanted to kind of change Deku's DNA a bit for him not to get any questions of who his real parents were, so that he'd think it was Aizawa and Midnight, and they just broke up. So yeah. And they see similarities as Midnight is watching from afar because, let's say, her class isn't going on right now and she wants to know about Deku. And then they see Midnight and Aizawa tells her to come out, and then she comes out. And they ask why Mr. Aizawa and Midnight have similarities to Deku, and that's when that's when they say that Deku, it's finally time to know that we're not your parents. You were dropped off years ago by your real parents. You usually had green hair, but we changed your DNA a bit so that you wouldn't get questions. And Deku was fine with this because now that his DNA has been changed, he's actually like their biological son, so he's fine with it. And now they go into the next test. Let's say this test is the one where like Mineta got 100. Let's say that Deku uses his telekinesis to bring two like very flexible items near him. Actually, let's say they're hard items. Let's say that with his own force field, scratch that. He uses his force field. It goes into that ball form that Mewtwo did when he destroyed the lab, I'm pretty sure, in Pokemon. So he went like that, and he started to go back and forth really fast. And of course, he ended up getting pretty much like infinite. Well, not infinite, but he got the top score on that. The speed races, he went so fast. Well, technically, he flew. No, not. Yeah, I think I would give him flight ability with this thing because it's kind of like. It's pretty much Mewtwo's powers, but way weaker. Like, Mewtwo would body him, but it's like Mewtwo, so you can't really, like, yeah. So, and plus I'm going to do a Pokemon, like, what if it's like reincarnation Pokemon or whatever. So, yeah. And I also had the original idea for this, so, I'm happy. I'm happy. Well, I looked it up earlier, actually, before I found my phone again, because I lost it for a bit. And I was on my friend Ethan Ortega's channel for a bit. So I shouted out this channel, said I was going to be posting this week, of which I did. And, yeah. Nice how it figured out and how it ended. And weird, I was like, I looked it up because I thought this would be a cool what if. Like, I've seen what ifs like this. I'm pretty sure it was like, what do you call it? So there's this one show I used to watch, but it was like they got raised by their school that they went to and stuff. Anyways, back on the story, pretty much he got 100 on each test, and he got a flat out 100, making UA records, again, being equal with All Might in this one. And he's really happy towards this, but Bakugo is very angry, and Todoroki has his interests really piqued, and he thinks that this kid could already be stronger than his own father. Now, let's say they're told to dismiss. Deku this time Deku goes to see Mirio and the others, Mirio and Sun Eater, and nobody cares about the other girl because she was shown during the overhaul arc. Yeah. Nice. Anyway, she does have cool work. Okay, back to the story. He meets up with them. He goes on a few scouting missions with them. He finds like 2 villains or something, and he puts them behind bars. And then comes the next day, with All Might, and he sees Izuku, and he asks, "Why aren't you with those third years?" And let's say that he didn't know what year he was in. If I said that last time, sorry. And that's when Deku said that I'm just a part of the Big Four. I'm not actually in class with them. I've just trained with them ever since they came into UA. And I'm probably one of, if not the strongest one there, since Mirio is really the strongest of the 3 of them, and I can pull him out of the ground with my quirk of defeating his quirk. And really, there's that. Which has All Might intrigued, because All Might hasn't passed on One for All yet, and I'm coming up with this on top of my head, okay? So give me a break here. So yeah, All Might hasn't passed it on, but I'm gonna give it to somebody who will become probably the second strongest in a challenge for Izuku, if not Izuku himself. So, yeah. I don't know where I'm gonna go with this. It'll just like drop in whenever. So, how do you say it? They do the hero thing, and the Uraraka and Deku come up with a plan. They're gonna multiply Uraraka's gravity effect with Deku's telekinesis, and then Deku said that he'll give them a mini brainwashing, stunning them for a bit until they get all their memories, and then they'll touch the nuke or whatever while that's happening, and he's fine with that. But then Deku notices Bakugo coming at him, and that's when he uses his force field, and then he flies up and he jets down, punching Bakugo to the ground, and then he grabs him and flings him into some of the pillars holding down the building, which knocks out Bakugo, and then he's like, well, then since he came towards us, Lita must be by himself, which means we could just fly through the ceiling, or we should take the stairs and maybe wait for Lita to pounce or attack him. Maybe even Bakugo will wake up and try to give us more of a challenge. Uraraka agrees with this, and then she does the gravity effect, and they multiply it, and them being able to be like they're jumping on the moon in a way, so it's like they're keeping on Earth and they're not just floating up, which is way easier in battle than Otaku going like her flying and stuff. And she thinks, but she can still do her flying and do it way better without giving her stomach illness with Deku's telekinesis. So they go up to Lita, and that's when Bakugo comes out from behind them. But that's when Deku was playing for this, and he says, 1 minute brainwash, and he brainwashes them, and that's when everybody watching is confused. And then Alma is also confused. So that's when Aizawa steps in and says that Deku has a very powerful quirk. I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet. If I call it something last video, remind me. I don't remember, but he has a very strong quirk. Psychic. And he can use very strong telekinesis, being able to carry something up to 10,000 pounds. And that's at its max limit so far. He can also brainwash people for up to a year, as well as he has a very strong force field around him, and he's also able to fly, as well as some other things that he'll uncover in the future. And that's when everybody's surprised, as well as I was saying, he has my technique where I can manipulate my threads on my neck, as well as he had learned to whip from Midnight, and he's a sharpshooter from the shooting guy, and he's very intelligent thanks to Nezu. And that's when everybody asks, why did all these people raise him? Because they didn't even know about it. Like when Aizawa didn't tell all of them about it. He just said that it happened to be to them, but he actually told Deku. So let's say Deku's new name is Banaki or something like that. Aizawa. No. Let me think. A Japanese name. Your mom's Aizawa. Let's call him. You know what? Let's call him. Let's see, Aizawa. I want to do something. Let's say they call his hero name is Midnight Aizawa. No. It's gonna be something with Midnight, but I don't know what his name's gonna be, so I'm just calling Izuku. No, let's say his real name is Izu Aizawa. So it's when he explains that Deku was dropped off as a year-old infant, and and his parents knew that he wouldn't awaken his quirk until he was 7, so they didn't want to wait that long, and plus it was already hard on them to take care of him as well as the father was leaving. So they dropped him off at the door explaining what Izu likes and some other stuff like that. And we twisted our DNA, me and Midnight put our DNA in his to make him our biological child. That's when everybody was surprised, as well as All Might being taken aback, but then he just goes back to normal and says Hero Teams win as the Deku comes back with them brainwashed still, and then all of a sudden they come up, and then Bakugo tries to blow him up, but all of a sudden Bakugo's hands get whipped, and that's when Izuku shows his whip, as well as he shot the gauntlets on Bakugo's arms with his gun. And they were asking why he had a gun, he said, and that's when Aizawa said that he was trained by most of the UA teachers. At least all the ones agree. As well as him learning from Present Mike to scream highly loud about half of his own with his quirk, as well as play a lot of band music. And he's learned a few things. Yeah, Jiro is a lot like you in a way with music. And that's when Jiro looks confused, but just continues on. And this one, let's say, I'm probably gonna do, let's see, what ship? You know what, let's do Deku X Shido. I'm pretty sure that's her name. The pink girl with the tennis. So, yeah, and that's when Shido kind of is amazed by this, and he starts to swarm Deku and asks him so many questions, and Deku answers some of them, and she kind of thinks that's cool of him, and they start hanging out more and more. So, let's get to the USJ attack. I'll cover the USJ attack, and then next time I'll cover the Sports Festival arc, and then the Stain arc, and maybe some other stuff. Maybe the summer camp arc. So, at the USJ, Deku he's using high sensory abilities, because with a psychic type you would probably get that. So he uses high sensory abilities to notice that portals opening up, not millions, but hundreds upon thousands of villains were spilling out, as well as one high level, one really high level, and one pretty high level but not as high, and one that has very dark aura. The one with the dark aura is poor old man. I forgot. Sorry, I forgot. I'm sorry, I forgot right now. I'll remember it by tonight. Then the one that's a bit weaker than the first bigger one is Shigaraki, and then the big one, of course, is the Momo, and of which Aizawa says that they can use their quirks to defend, but he says that Izu, let's call him, let's say his name is Full Moon. Yeah, let's say his hero name is Full Moon. And then Aizawa says that Full Moon, you can go down and ask who Full Moon is. That's when Izuku says that it's his hero name. And he says that he needs one in order to be part of the Big Four. So he goes down and starts taking down very weak villains, and then he sees Aizawa flying the Nomu, and then he gets his head smashed. And this angers Izuku so much that he lets out 1000% of his power, kind of like all for one. Also, but it'll make him unconscious. No, not unconscious, but let's say that doesn't have a lot of drawbacks, because he's pretty much like mastered most of his power. And let's say this one, he lifts the Nomu and crunches it up and rips out its brain from its body, killing it instantly. And then All Might shows up with all the other heroes, and then Midnight goes down, sees Aizawa, and then that's when All Might sees the Nomu, and Shigaraki sees the Nomu and says, but that was meant to destroy All Might. All Might, hearing this, is surprised, and then Shigaraki says, he's supposed to the only way he could have won is using United States of Smash, his biggest move, which would have depleted All for One for good. I meant One for All. And that's when All Might kind of gets frightened for a second of Izuku, but then he notices that Izuku's not just there. Kurogiri. He pulls Kurogiri towards him and punches him in his metal-like thing where his body is, and that knocks him out. And then he goes over to Shigaraki, takes, slashes the hand off of his face, and punches him into the ground, knocking him out. But that's when All for One appears, and he laughs and is clapping at seeing Izuku. And he's about to steal his quirk, and that until Izuku totally blitzes him, which confuses All for One for a second. But then also he gets a punch across the face from Izuku, sending him flying, and then he gets pulled up without anybody touching him and flung high up into the air, then flung towards the water. Well, let's say kind of like a bridge. He goes right through the bridge. And that's when All for One is pretty beaten up from this, cause Izuku's OP. But he's not gonna get All for One, cause his quirk is strong enough. His quirk can be All for One. So I mean, not All for One, One for All, but it can also be All for One. At least as he's not going full power. So All for One uses teleportation, teleporting Shigaraki himself and Kurogiri out of there. Then, that would leave the end to the USJ attack. They have 2 weeks off of school, which Deku and Ishido were hanging out a lot, as well as Deku introducing Ishido to the rest of the Big Four, and Ishido is asking where the fourth member is, and that's when Mirio says that the fourth member's right here. And Ishido asks where, but then that's when he says that he's standing right next to you. And then she looks at Deku, and Deku waves at her. And then she is so surprised, and she thinks that he's so cool, but then he says that she can't tell anybody. He's gonna wait for a while so that people don't think that he's really that strong. Although he is strong enough to beat All Might. Clearly that one villain was the main villain, but he's not in the best of shape. And I can tell All Might's not in the best of shape either. So, the weeks pass, Deku's training, and Shido and all that. He actually goes to meet Sir Night-Eye this time. He also meets Fat Gum and the Dragon Lady, because I don't remember. Now, the people he takes a liking to is Sir Night-Eye, and let's say he's actually pretty funny, so let's say Sir Night-Eye took a liking to him. He's fine with Fat Gum as well. He also likes the Dragon Lady. I'm pretty sure her name is Ryuku. If I'm gonna be honest, I forget. But he likes Ringly the most because she's kind to him and stuff. So yeah. That's where I'm gonna be leaving it off. Again, thank you to Gavin Keane for being such a nice person and being so supportive. I'll probably release another one of these videos out tomorrow, as well as, well, I'm not gonna go into any filler things and stuff, and I'll probably stop at the overhaul thing, because that's what I'm gonna start doing My Hero Academia with. Until I finish in total, I'm almost done with the hero arc, but that got finished, whatever. Season 5 will probably not even come out until, 2021, so when I'm gonna have to go through all these what ifs and make new parts of them, anyways, thank you all for watching, hope you all have a nice day, and again, thank you Gavin Keane. Cheers fellas.